pro-Russian separatists in eastern Ukraine have freed a team of European military observers after more than a week in captivity in the flashpoint town of Slaviansk. The release of the hostages comes a day after 42 people were killed in fighting between pro- and anti-Russian groups in their southern city of Odessa, according to police. Video: tear gas fired as protesters clash in Odessa. Colonel Axel Schneider, who headed the team of observers, said he was grateful for efforts made to secure the team's release. "This is my impression that enormous effort has been taken. This is unforgettable for us," he said. "You can imagine, it's a big relief. The situation was really tough. The last 2 nights when you see what was going on, every minute gets longer." He praised his captor, Slaviansk's self-proclaimed people's mayor Vyacheslav Ponomaryov, as a man whose word counts a lot. "He's a man who listens." Mr. Ponomaryov said he decided to release the prisoners because it was his birthday. "As I promised them, we celebrated my birthday yesterday and they left," he said. "As I said, they were my guests." Release resolves major diplomatic crisis. Protester sprays champagne after storming governor's premises. Photo: a pro-Russia protester sprays champagne after storming the governor's business premises in Donetsk. Reuters. Marco Jurek. The release of the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, OSCE, monitors, who were in the country to gather information and reduce tensions on the ground, resolves a major diplomatic issue for the West. Moscow said the release showed the bravery and humanism of the rebels defending Slaviansk. Western officials, including U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry and Germany's Foreign Minister Frank-Walter Steinmeier, welcomed the release but said Russia should still do more to help de-escalate the crisis. Mr. Kerry spoke to Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov by telephone. Both sides said they agreed that the OSCE should play a bigger role in helping to reduce tension. The separatists had captured the monitor team on April 25 and described them as prisoners of war. One Swede was freed earlier on health grounds while 4 Germans, a Czech, a Dane and a Pole were still being held until Saturday. Mr. Ponomaryov said they were freed along with 5 Ukrainian captives, with no conditions. Friday's riot in the southern city of Odessa, ending in a deadly blaze in a besieged trade union building, is by far the worst incident in Ukraine since a February uprising that ended with pro-Russian President Viktor Yanukovych fleeing the country. It also spread the violence from the eastern separatist heartland to an area far from the Russian frontier, raising the prospect of unrest sweeping more broadly across a country of around 45 million people. At least 37 people were killed when the building in the Black Sea port was set on fire and another 5 people died when fighting broke out in the streets, police said. Regional Police Chief Petro Latziuk says more than 130 people have been detained and could face charges ranging from participating in riots to premeditated murder. Russian President Vladimir Putin's spokesman has accused Kiev authorities and their backers in the West of being directly responsible for the bloodshed in Odessa, Russian news agencies report. Kiev and its Western sponsors are practically provoking the bloodshed and bear direct responsibility for it, RIA Novosti quoted spokesman Dmitry Peskov as saying. But Ukraine's security service says the unrest in Odessa was planned and financed from abroad. A spokeswoman for the SBU security service told a news conference that illegal military groups from Moldova's breakaway region of Transnistria and Russian groups worked together to stir up unrest in Odessa. The unrest, which occurred on May 2 in Odessa and led to clashes and many casualties, was due to foreign interference, she said. She says former top officials, once part of Mr. Yanukovych's inner circle, financed saboteurs to foment the unrest, blaming Sergei Abuzov and Oleksandr Klimenko, who were now hiding in a neighboring country.